First, a familiar face from previous seminars, Sherry Johnson. She is the radio control sales manager at LiftMaster. She began her career with LiftMaster 12 years ago in marketing as a product manager for garage door opener accessories and began to focus on the radio control line. Sherry was a key marketing team member on many new product development teams that launched a lot of the new products that LiftMaster offers today. In 2012, Sherry was promoted to LiftMaster Sales as Radio Control Sales Manager and has begun working to promote the LiftMaster radio line with customers and consumers every day. We're glad to have Sherry back again this year, and she is going to talk about the latest in radio control accessories for LiftMaster residential and commercial operators. Please give a hand to Sherry Johnson.
Hi, everyone. Ooh, I'm live. So I am the LiftMaster Radio Control Sales Manager, and we're just going to go over residential and the commercial radios that LiftMaster offers today. I'm going to fly through this pretty fast. So this is going to be our agenda. I'm going to give you a little bit of a technology overview of the product line, and then I'm going to go over the radios in specifics. Then I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the obsolescence of some of the products that have recently happened so that you're aware of what's going on with those. So technology review is up until 2011, we had what was called Security Plus rolling code technology. And in 2011, we went to Security Plus 2.0. And what the difference is we didn't take anything away from our customers, we just made it a little bit better. So we went from a wideband radio system to a narrowband radio system. That helps us improve range. We went to from a single frequency where you had to specifically know what frequency your product was in to a tri-band frequency, so you don't have to do change-outs if you're having interference issues. The product has 310, 315, and 390 megahertz simultaneous transmission, so it's redundant. It just picks the best transmission that it happens to need at that time. We went from our existing rolling code to an encrypted rolling code, so we made it a little more secure. And one thing that we did, and this is only on residential garage door openers, is we changed the serial input. That would be where your wall controls are wired in on the red-white terminals, from a regular open serial to an encrypted serial. And that will prevent products that don't meet our UL 325 requirements from opening or closing a door from a remote application in an unsafe manner. So that's why that went to an encryption. Come on. All right. The other thing that we implemented in 2011, 2012 was called MyQ Radio. MyQ Radio is significant because it now allows the homeowner or the consumer to operate their garage door opener from their smartphone or the internet. It can do a bunch of other things too, but that's like the key thing that you want to know about it. So it's a separate radio system. It's not really the same radio that you're used to. This particular radio system is on a 900 megahertz frequency, and it is a frequency hopping spread spectrum. Don't need to know that, but that means it's really fancy. And what it does is it's a two-way communication, so it gives you that feedback. So every time you ask it to do something, it'll tell you that it did it or that it didn't do it. So that's the two-way communication. Where in the old Security Plus 2.0, the old transmission, you push a button and hope it happens. This is kind of like that homeowner that wants to know that, did I close the garage door? And I don't remember, so I have to turn around and go all the way home to see if I did or not. Now with MyQ, you can just look on your phone and see if you closed the door, or if you need to let somebody in, you can open it for them. So it's a nice accessory to have. So this is available now on most residential garage door openers. By the end of this year, it will be available on all of our residential garage door openers. It's also available on some of our gate operators, and we've got some more rolling out at the end of this year on our gate operator line. On our CDOs, and you'll hear about that from Frank in a little bit, but the commercial door operators are also going MyQ as well. So we're going to have it on quite a range of our products. You're going to be able to do it on the internet. So I'm going to just talk briefly, because I get a lot of those questions, is I just bought an operator 2 or 3 years ago, and I want to get this MyQ. How do I get that without having to buy a brand new opener? There are two ways. One of them is really simple. If it's a LiftMaster operator that we've manufactured from 1998 to present, you can basically swap out the wall control panel with this one. So this is the 888LM MyQ control panel, and this has the MyQ radio in it. It also has a Security Plus 2.0 radio in it, so if you're having an interference issue on an older operator, you can use this kind of like a universal receiver, get some new transmitters, and maybe eliminate the range that that customer is having. So this is kind of a new universal receiver to get you to the Security Plus 2.0. The other one is a little more universal, and I'm just going to pull out one piece of it. This is called the MyQ Garage, and this is the 821LM. It's actually two pieces. This is the hub. This is Wi-Fi. And this you can use on pretty much any garage door opener manufactured from 1993 to present. If you're familiar with our universal remote control, this will work on any of those operators. So works on Genie, it works on Linear, Megacode, Stanley Secure Code, Wayne Dalton. So it's a nice little handy device to get an older operator or a competitive operator of ours to get the internet access as well. So this is the 821LM, and it comes with a little hub, and then the sensor is got a tilt switch. So this gets mounted on the upper corner of the top panel of the door, and this is what tells it that it's either in the closed position or the open position, okay? And that's how it talks to the internet that way. All right. This will only work on residential. All right, moving along, we're going to talk about some of the radio controls. So I am going to talk first about our most popular transmitters out there today, and those are our universal remote controls and keypads. It's two models. It's a 375LM is our 2-button remote control, and then we also have a keypad. One of the things I just want to bring up is that this product line is compatible with 2.0. So it's not in the instruction manual yet. It's getting there. It's being implemented right now. But the product will work on our new Security Plus 2.0 products. Doesn't matter when you bought it. It's been there since we implemented this product line. So if you want to know the number of presses that you have to do, it's 8. The easiest way to remember that is all of the Security Plus 2.0 products and the residential line start with 8. All the GDOs start with 8. All the transmitters start with 8. 8 is the number of presses. It's the easiest way to remember it. That's how I remember it. And then the one thing that you need to know about the keypad, it can only be programmed to one garage, so you have to pick whatever one you want. Then we have our Security Plus 2.0 transmitters. These are all fairly new. They've only been in the market a couple of years. The Max radio controls are the most popular. They are nice because they are backwards compatible to 1993. If you're a residential dealer, then you would recognize that by the Learn button. This will go all the way back to the green Learn button. So it'll do our current yellow, our purple, orange, or red, and our green button. There are also 3 different models. There's a mini, little keychain. There's a 3-button visor, and then we have what we call the 3-button premium remote that's got pretty blue LEDs, which is our 895 Max. So these are our 3 models that we have. We also have a Max keypad. The Max keypad is really nice because, again, it's backwards compatible to the 1993. But the nice thing about this keypad, it can operate up to 24 doors. That's really nice for a commercial door application if you're using the keypads to actually open up the doors from the fork trucks. We do have a line of standard LM remotes, and these are only Security Plus 2.0. So they don't have any backwards capability, but they will work on any yellow button machine or any of our new 2.0 commercial operators. There are 2. There's a 1-button visor and a 3-button visor on that line. And then there's a keypad version as well. Commercial radios that came out with the 2.0. With the introduction of 2.0 and a lot of our commercial products, our gate operators and now our commercial door operators coming up, we've got some dip switch type remote controls. These are mostly utilized for like gated communities. The single button is if you have 700 transmitters and they all just program the same. This is what you'd use. Very similar to what our 61LM with a 412HM does today. And then we also have an 813LM. This is an open close stop. Red, green, yellow button transmitter, primarily designed for commercial door operators. This is the transmitter of choice for the new Logic 5, which Frank will tell you about a little bit later. And then we also have these 2 transmitters. These are our learning remote controls. There are 2 and 4 button models. The nice thing about this is they have a lot of different capabilities. The transmitter, any button can be programmed to either our current 2.0 rolling code or one of our older rolling codes, Security Plus 390 or 315. But I can also clone a dip switch transmitter. So it's kind of a simple single button solution for a gated community, or if I have to do something really odd. This is kind of my go-to transmitter line whenever I have a very weird application, because I can clone a dip switch transmitter to work within a commercial receiver as well. Put these on a lot of firehouses. And then my receivers. My favorite receiver is our new 850LM. This is this guy. So it's a 3-channel universal receiver. It's really nice. It's designed to be used with commercial door operators and gate operators. It's got 3 channels. The first channel will hold 50 transmitters. The other 2 will hold 20 each. Nice little product, kind of small and compact. Notice the bent antenna. Do not unbend the antenna. Typically, these are put in some type of enclosure because they're not watertight. So we bent the antenna to still keep our optimum range, like it would be a straight antenna, but it's bent in the proper way to keep the range going. If you unbend it, you broke it. We do offer these as a service item, so if you need to buy a replacement, you can, but don't unbend that antenna, all right? So this is a nice little product. This is the 850LM. There is a weather-tight version of this. It's the 860LM. I'm not going to take it out of its box, but it's completely weather-tight enclosure. It's the same exact receiver, has the same capabilities. It's just in a different enclosure. And then the Star 1000. If you've ever used any of our Star products, we've had them out for quite a long time. Star 1000 is more of a commercial access receiver. This is it. Notice it has a straight antenna. You can swap the bent antenna if you want to. This can be mounted outside. It is in a weather-tight enclosure. The keypad that you see here is purely for programming. This one replaces the Star 450. As its name tells you, it can hold 1,000 transmitters. So it's really kind of designed for big parking lots, truck lots, somewhere where you have a lot of transmitters where you need some type of access, either with a commercial door or a gate operator. It's got a couple of cool features. The one that I really like the best is that it can back up the memory of the transmitters that you've learned into it. So really nice if you've learned 1,000 transmitters. Lightning takes out this receiver. You don't want to have to gather up 1,000 transmitters and relearn them back into a new receiver. This particular receiver has a backup memory module. So in the programming, you say, I want to back up the memory. You open it up. It's got 4 screws. And you take out that memory module and you keep it somewhere safe, maybe in the property manager's or the owner's desk, somewhere safe. If this receiver ever gets taken out, you bring out a new one, pop in that memory module, recover memory. All those transmitters are now in the new receiver. Very nice feature, especially when you have that many remotes. The other thing that it can do is we have a new line of transmitters called Passport Lite, and they are a credential transmitter. This can use the credential portion of the transmitter line to bulk learn or block learn bunches of transmitters at a time. We offer them in 10 and 100 packs. I'll talk about those in a minute. But this can, so if you're trying to put in 700 transmitters, you just buy 7 boxes of 100 transmitters and you learn each box in at a time. So it's a lot easier to learn 7 times than 700 times. So this is a nice little receiver. The third feature of this one is it has the ability to block or delete a single transmitter. We don't have any other receivers that do that. So if you ever have an application where they might need to delete a single transmitter, say for employees, because sometimes you have employees come and go, you don't get that transmitter back, you want to be able to delete that single transmitter, you can actually delete one transmitter and then reuse the slot for another transmitter later. So you always keep the 1,000 capacity, and it gives you the ability to do that without having to relearn transmitters in. So that's the Star. All right, and then on our Passport side, this is more of a commercial access control with an access control system or an entry system. This is a pass-through receiver, and it takes their credential and actually creates a packet of information that it sends to an access control system. So if you have a product or an application where there is, you're putting an access control system because you need the data, you need to know who came in when or stop them coming in after 11 or whatever, timestamp, that type of thing. That's all done with an access control system. And then we have a transmitter and receiver line that actually works with those in order to give you that much more security. So the Passport receiver is still with the Security Plus 2.0, but it is a pass-through. All the data is actually handled by the access control system. This just facilitates it, kind of like the secretary. No offense to any secretaries. All right. And we do have remote controls that are credentialed. These are Passport Max remote controls. These are brand new. They were just launched last week. And the nice thing about these is they will work with the access control system at the gate access piece, but they'll also be compatible with a residential garage door opener back to 1995. So they'll do all of our rolling code transmitters like. So it's a one remote control solution for a gated community. It's kind of a nice little feature to have. I'm gonna go over that. And then the Passport Lite that I talked about with the Star 1000, these are really only used for commercial access. They're single button remotes. They're about 40 to 50% cheaper than buying a full transmitter. It's really designed for commercial access. The key thing that you need to know about these is they do not work on residential operators. So they only work on the commercial receivers and the commercial gate operators, commercial door operators, that type of thing. So they're restricted from the residential side. They are only offered in 10 and 100 packs. They are used they're sold that way because they're typically in high capacity and you want to learn bunches in at the time with an access control system or with the Star 1000. We've got 3 flavors, a keychain, a visor, and then we also have a keychain with a prox reader. And what that's really nice for is if you have an application where they use the button to get into the gate operator, but then to get into the building, it's an HID reader. They just flash the same transmitter in front of the HID reader and it gets them into the building. Access control system typically will control all of that access with the Passport Lite. Let's see. Just quickly, I'm going to talk about this good, better, or best. All of our product lines kind of fall into a good, better, or best scenario. So for basic applications, what I call keep the riffraff out, and you want to just have some access like a barrier gate to get into a community or a property or anything, you'd probably use an 850 LM, that little 3-channel receiver that I use, with an 811. It's probably your low-end, just a kind of basic security. And then with a better security, you got the Star 1000 that gives you a little more capability, a little bit more security. And then the best would be the Passport system with the Passport type transmitters, either the Lite or the Max transmitters. And then the access control system is actually controlling when your employees or your community members are coming in and out of the community. All right, we already talked about these and the things. So I'm going to go to the legacy radios, or where my radios have been obsolete. These are probably where I get the most questions, is how can I get this and what do I use instead? So if you were buying our billion code transmitters, those were the 80 series transmitters. Those have all been discontinued. But you can use any of the Max transmitters because they're all compatible with billion code. So you just program them back to a billion code and they'll work on those openers. So a nice transmitter line for the Max to keep in to take care of all those customers that are still out there with billion code. The universal remote control also does billion code, so that's another option for you. It's a 2-channel transmitter. Our dip switch, the 61 LM, which is our old 390 megahertz, and the 361, which is the updated 315, are still available. I have no date for those ever going away. We use those a lot in gated communities. And then I use them also for cloning into those learning transmitters, so those are still available. The 2 and 3 buttons, those are obsolete. Use the universal remotes or our learning remotes instead. And then the 33 and the 333, those are dip switch open close stop transmitters used for commercial door applications, are still available. They are not discontinued. On our Security Plus line in the 390 megahertz, we have eliminated a few of them. The only transmitter that's now available is the 971. So that single button visor transmitter, the 971, is still available. But the 3-button and the mini keychain that was back there, they called it a little bear claw, those have been obsolete. And the keypad is obsolete in the 390. Use Max instead. So the Max remotes would do any application that you would be using those. And on the 315, the only one that's been obsolete in 315 megahertz is the old Mini. But we do have a Mini in the Max series, so you use the 890 Max instead. Let's see. Receivers. We did obsolete a few of our receivers last year in December. So the old 390 megahertz 635 LM, which was like a little plug-in receiver, that is no longer available. You would probably use the 888 LM, that MyQ control panel, as a receiver, or the 821 LM can also be used as a commercial receiver as well, or a residential receiver. So you'd use one of those instead. The 535 LM, which was the big square one with the big white door button, that has been obsolete as well. So on the 390 megahertz, you don't have any more universal receiver options on the residential side. 315, we still have the 365 LM plugin. That one is still available. But we obsoleted the big square one, not really used very often, so we obsoleted that. If you do have a need for that, use the 888 and upgrade them to the Security Plus 2.0. And then remember, the options for the Security Plus 2.0 upgrade are the same options to get MyQ. They're the 888 LM and the 821, so it's the same thing. Commercial legacy receivers, 412HM was a single channel receiver, popular in our gate operator line back in the day. That is still available. Actually, they're all still available. The 312HM, which is the 315 one, is available as well as just an accessory. Star 450 is available, but has been moved to service. So if you have an application where they've got 400 transmitters and their receiver goes out, you can replace their receiver. It's just now a service item. So you purchase that from our service department, and the pricing changed because your parts discount now applies versus regular accessory. So there is a pricing change, but we'll get your parts discount. And the 422 and the 423, which were really old 2 and 3 channel receivers, mostly used for commercial door operators, those are gone. We've eliminated those as well. These all were eliminated. These changes happened last year. And Passport remote controls, with the introduction of Passport Lite and Passport Max, we're going to kind of clean up the line of Passport. I'm not going to go into details. If anybody has any questions, they can contact me, and I can give you what you need to know, what you need to use instead. But there is a replacement for everything, and it's all backwards compatible. Thanks. Any questions?
Sherry, I have one.
Sure.
Oh, it's on the mic real quick. We had an online customer ask, how many doors can one phone operate, monitor using the internet gateway?
So the internet gateway controls 16 MyQ devices. So if you have 16 doors or garage door openers, it can control all 16 of them, and you can see all 16 of them on your app. It also can control lights. So right now mine has 1 garage door and 2 lights on it. So it controls up to 16 devices of mix and match.
Can they work more than one phone on that same internet gateway?
You can, but you have to log in as the same person. So if I've got the app on my phone, I log in as me. If I put it on my husband's phone, he would have to log in as me as well.